to you by no network, and these girls are absolutely no one. Hi guys, welcome back. As you can see, it's a little empty on this couch. No, there's no sad story. We got Friday, we recorded our episode with our guest that we have on, which will be played right after this. We got a little bit too carried away during the episode. We did get a little bit drunk. So we had Teneka come over and we recorded the episode with her, and then we had agreed we would do some kind of intro to introduce her after she had left because she had to go. She was going out for dinner, I think. But as you will see throughout the episode, we got a little bit too drunk. We were really enjoying our red wine. So yeah, it's just me here. We're recording a couple of days after. Well, I'm recording this a couple of days after. And Emma so kindly let me use her house because the microphone was here. So she's not home. I'm just here by myself with Bug. I don't know if you can see her, but yeah, she's here. So yeah, this week's episode, we had the best time recording with Teneka. Us three all literally sat there in awe, just staring at her. She had our undivided attention. We were really, really enjoying what she had to say, and I really hope you guys too. She works in Spearwood. I think it's called Life Ready Physio. She now works there full time, and she specializes kind of in like women's health, which I think we explained on an Instagram story, and you really would be shocked at the things that a physio can help you with. Like, I know for sure, I'll definitely be linking everything in the description. And I really think more people should know about this. Like, I really hope everyone watches this. Like, we'll be trying our hardest to make sure everyone watches this. But yeah, Teneka, she was amazing, and we really appreciate her coming on. Would love to have her on again in the future. Hopefully more people, if you guys watch this, you guys have questions, and hopefully she can help you answer them, because there's a lot of things out there that she explained that like we women just shouldn't just live with, like weeing yourself when you're coughing. Like when you cough or you sneeze or you laugh too hard, you know, like you don't have to live with that. Like that is something that can be treated, or they can at least try. So yeah, really, really enjoyed the episode. And yes, we got too carried away. We got way too drunk. But we had a fabulous time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and enjoy Teneka. Thanks.
And here she is. And welcome to episode 51. We're back.
51. Teneka is here.
Teneka is here.
How does it feel?
Yeah.
You can speak now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi, guys. Super keen to be here.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we've already had a few wines beforehand.
How bad?
Because it's a Friday and some of us have had a hell shit day.
It's gone straight to the head, mate.
Well, I started with spilling my coffee all over my fucking kitchen this morning. And it had ghee in it. You know, like butter.
Oh, why?
Because I just like it.
Butter in your coffee.
It's meant to be good for you.
Butter in your coffee.
It's not butter, it's ghee.
Butter in your coffee.
It's ghee.
Butter in your coffee.
Anyway, it's still, yeah, it is, but I'm not on keto. I spilt it, and obviously when you spill oil, it's a fucking bitch to clean up, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So I've got coffee and oil all over my kitchen, and I was already grumpy because I woke up late.
You poor thing. Yeah, you didn't get to the beach.
Bad start to the day. Yeah, I didn't
doing
get to
that
the beach.
tomorrow morning. You inspired us.
What time are you going?
You weren't invited.
This is awkward.
Okay, I literally was about to invite myself.
I can ask him. It's like, hey, we're going to go for a coffee and go for a walk on a beach because you inspired us this morning because it was so freaking pretty. This is awkward.
No, I want to go tomorrow too.
What time?
Casey's so desperate for a beach. I really want to go to the beach with a friend.
Well, I was already going, so...
No, I'll tell you. I don't know when it's going to be before or after my client.
Oh, I was going to go at 5, so it's fine.
AM?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
No.
I don't want you to come now.
On a Saturday.
No, it's not. Yeah, you actually don't understand how peaceful it is.
I mean, make the most of it. It's about to fucking piss down all weekend and next week.
And next week. I don't know how that happens. Mother Nature.
Anyway, Teneka, let's start.
Welcome.
Yes. To Backyard Banner.
First guest ever.
First guest literally
Second,
ever.
really?
I guess if you don't count Shakira. But that was just a
No,
drunk episode.
No, you don't count Shakira. She's just a friend. We didn't talk to her about her.
Shakira, that's
We
me,
did for
guys.
like 5 minutes and then we went, whoop.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're a proper guest.
yeah, proper.
Yeah.
We actually have a topic that you
Yes.
specialise in.
And we're going
I
to
love
discuss
this.
all
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
our body.
so what is your job? Like, why
Yes.
are you on
Yes.
here?
We did a little brief on the Instagram, but
Yeah, okay. So I work as a physio. I have a special interest in women's health and continence. So pretty much anything like vagina, anus, even men's health as well. And I think we started this, I think it was a drunk message where I was like, this needs to be spoken about because I was out on a
Were we
down
at
south
Benny's?
trip. Oh yeah,
We were at Benny's
as well.
and I
Sounds
think
like
you
a
were
Benny's
down south.
conversation.
Yeah, and I was like, this is something that would be interesting because I hear it every single day. I'm shocked at how little people know about their own
Yeah.
vagina
Yeah.
and
Oh,
their own health.
100%.
Yeah.
And I know like why I got into it when I was studying. We had a unit on women's health and like learning the anatomy. I was like, I am 21. Why am I just finding out about this now? And it like changed my life. So yeah, we get it like quite a bit at the clinic. So I work at a place called Life Ready, which is pretty much down the road next to Aldi.
Yeah, in Spearwood.
In Spearwood.
Oh, no way.
Born
Literally
and
down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Born
what?
and bred,
No,
yeah.
that's so good.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is
Spearwood represent, mate.
Yeah, I will
See?
never live in the hood.
Yeah, see? Everything's gone crazy. I'm like, I fucking love Spearwood. I'm
there's
like,
nothing
I've
wrong
been here
with
my
it.
whole life, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
no way
there's
am I
literally
leaving.
nothing wrong with it, okay?
It's
Yeah.
like 5 minutes away from the beach. Can't complain.
It's like the
No.
perfect mixture. Like, you go that way, like Quinana way, and then that's when you just get like, ooh. and then you go
No
like,
offense.
no offense to anyone that lives that way. And then you go like
Shit.
the other way, and they're all just like, this is not right. And then you get Spearwood right bang in the middle, and we're just like normal. Like, you got to bit of
Yes.
everyone, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Gotta-
because we're right near Freo, it's a bit hard not to be relaxed.
Yeah.
We just got a bit of everyone in this suburb, you know.
Man, I see it. Like we get the hippies. We
Yeah.
You would
everything.
Get the
everyone.
hippies,
Yeah.
we get the deros, we
But
get
also people like posh people in Coogee.
yeah,
like,
and then you get the
literally
poshies.
everything.
Yeah,
It is
we've got
everyone.
we've got a mix
It's
of
the
everyone.
best, yeah.
Oh my God.
I
I
love
feel
it.
like I'm the
I
same
love it.
where I work because I'm in Kubler.
Mm.
So I get
Coogie's and Usubi though.
Yeah,
Like
apparently.
it's up and
You
coming.
see me, eh?
Apparently.
Some of the houses in Coogee
Oh yeah,
They
that
are
one on the
getting there.
corner.
They are
that I
getting
wanted
there.
to buy, and I held every time I drive past it, I'm trying to look in to see who's there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Why you just look in their window?
Such a nice house.
but yeah.
Just knock on the door. Hi, let's have a look at your house. Is that okay?
So when did you start at Spearwood Life Ready Physio?
Well, I've been working there for 3 years, but
Really?
not So I
Wow.
started as admin there when I was
Oh, okay.
studying,
Mm-hmm.
and then the final year of physio is just full-time work for free.
Yeah.
Which
wow.
like hurt my soul a little bit, but it meant
Is that when
like,
I went to you?
Yeah,
You were
so I
working for
think-
free.
Yeah.
Wait,
That a year
how
ago.
long? How long were you doing that for? Working for free?
A year.
It
1
goes for
year?
a whole year.
So you don't get paid at all.
No. So you do prac for a full year, but so physio has a lot of different components to it. So I was like on a neuro prac where you do neuro rehab, and then cardio where you work with heart and lung, and then a lot of mine was women's health, which is why I think I like it so much. So
Yeah.
I was on the Fiona Stanley maternity ward for like 10 weeks. And it was
Oh my god, that would be so
Amazing.
interesting.
it was so good, but it was during COVID, so
Oh.
a lot of the women couldn't have their husbands there, and it should have been the happiest place on earth, and it was
wasn't.
like you could walk down the hallways and people would be crying because you know you're a new mum, like you've
Yeah.
just given birth, and like
You're all alone. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't. Yeah,
and this is
hormones.
the other thing, you're not educated on what's going to happen afterwards.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're dependent on a midwife
Yeah.
to come and help you.
Yeah.
You can't have your partner there.
Mm.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
And I got to see towards the end of it when the husband was actually allowed to be there, or the boyfriend or the partner or the girlfriend was allowed to be there. And it was a lot better, but I think that just comes down to like education and
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID
Because like
doesn't
even
happen
with
again.
even with pregnancy, it's like a lot of people sugarcoat it. Because even half that pregnancy video, or was it
Yeah.
Shakira? And I was like, no one tells you. Like
Anything.
everyone's
No.
like, yeah, you have a baby, and then like that's it. No one tells you about the ripping, the stitches, the shitting yourself, the fucking everything that goes into that. And I'm like, I'm not having a kid. I'm
No.
not doing it.
And
And
that's
then
the thing,
stuff.
when people hear it, they're like, I'm never having a kid.
they're
But
traumatized. I'm traumatized.
also, the more you know about it, the more relaxed you are
Yeah.
during the process. So the less your pelvic floor muscles are holding on for
Yeah.
dear life and tearing.
Ah,
and things
yeah.
like that.
I think that's like Monique and I, because I have an elder sister who's had 3 kids, so I feel like I know a lot more. And then when I was like not like doing research and like going on Instagram and following all these like really
Yeah, we watch,
natural
like, a lot of
births,
videos
like
and
all
stuff.
these natural births on like Instagram, and like it tells you everything, and they give you like all these little tips. And I was telling Mum, and I was like, oh my God, then this happens and this happens, and she was like, Casey, it's better off to go in not knowing anything. And I was like, for you?
What?
I was like,
No
I want to
way.
know everything. I was like, I don't know what happens. Like, I didn't know you get this and you get that.
Because a number of things can like go wrong during the process.
And you want to
wanna
understand.
know.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
like how people go in and think that they're going to have this like perfect plan.
Yeah.
And I've like watched so many people that are now having their second babies, and they're like, you don't have a plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably
We
not gonna
can't.
happen.
Yeah, you
And
can't.
we do postpartum checkups at like 6 weeks, and there's a lot of traumatic births, and like yes, a lot of things can go wrong, and sometimes you can't help those things. But I feel like the more you know going into the process, the more comfortable you are.
And prepared. Yeah.
And prepared to make those decisions when something does go wrong. You know, you don't feel like your life is in someone else's hands. You know.
Yeah.
What are the main
interesting.
things that you focus on with like postpartum?
Postpartum, we see a lot of if there's been tearing, we can do some grading and pelvic floor muscle exercises to rehab that. And at the end of the day, all of this, like every bit of advice that I can give is all individual. So if you've been through this, you need to go see someone, get an individual assessment. But in general, we see a lot of abdominal separation, which is totally normal, pelvic floor muscle rehab, but depending on it depends on so many things, right? Like whether you've had a natural birth or a C-section. And that's why it needs to be individualized. And if you don't know, go see someone, go get some help.
100%. Don't just let it.
So I guess those are the main things. And also like adapting to life with a newborn. We see a lot of people just like upper back pain because they're always in like that hunched over position. They're breastfeeding or feeding and picking up your baby. Like everything you do in life is now in that
I'm
position.
going to be used to that then.
Yes.
Like this all the time. I'll be fine. There was a question from Instagram, and it was how to bring back abdominal separation after pregnancy.
Yeah, so this one's a bit of an interesting one. Abdominal
Oh,
separation.
you don't know what it is?
No,
Okay,
I don't know
explain
anything.
it.
No, I'm dumb as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's
No,
fine.
No, but-
it's not though. It's not though because
Yeah.
I didn't even like. I remember studying it and being like, "Shit, I didn't even think of this." So basically,
It'll make sense once you know.
Yeah, it's just natural. So your six-pack muscle is held together. You see like guys with a six-pack or even
The
girls
line.
with a six-pack in the line. So that's just connective tissue holding like both sides of the muscle together. So when you're pregnant, you've got a hormone called relaxin. So it relaxes all the connective tissues, and it literally just allows like the baby to grow underneath your
Makes
ab
your belly go
muscles.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
like,
didn't know
it's not
that-
like the
I didn't
muscles
know
are
that's what
stretching. It's
did
like
it.
the connective tissue in the middle is stretching. So
Uh-huh.
like after you give birth, it doesn't just like snap back together. So relaxin, the hormone, stays in your system for about 6 months. Depends person to person. So you can still have some like laxity within that like middle bit for that long. So the first piece of advice we give is kind of like give yourself a break. You just grew a baby.
Yeah.
Like your body will naturally reduce in the level of like the relaxin hormone and like stiffen up again. But there is some things you can do to kind of help the process along. So first off, we check it. So you check it at the belly button a little bit lower, a little bit higher. And by doing that, you like lay on your belly and do a little bit of a sit up. So if you check yours, like we can check ours now. I've got 1 centimeter,
Mine's probably like
1 to
4.
2 fingers.
I can't
If you do like a little sit up,
Oh yeah,
you can
maybe
feel a
2.
little gap. You have to kind of be laying down. You've got like less than a finger.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Where'd you mine?
Okay, and do a little crunch. Yeah, so a finger.
I'm so confused.
So you kind of have to be laying down. If you want to lay down, I can test it on you.
Wait,
So
we'll move.
I'm never invited back on the podcast.
Well, it's okay. No,
It's fine.
I'll do it. Okay, and we're back. Hello. I'm just gonna.
All right, shuffle down so you're more flat. Yeah.
All right.
So shirt comes up. Good. Where's your belly button? Cool. So you put your fingers like horizontal in.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do a little sit up. Good. So yeah, less than.
Oh,
a finger.
that's weird.
Yeah, there's like a line in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that line goes all the way down to your pubic bone.
what?
So that's how far you kind of have to check it.
That is crazy.
So yeah, like I was saying.
Top us up. Yeah.
Postpartum, straight after you have a baby, someone should come to the hospital and have a little check. Anywhere between like 3 and 8 fingers is normal. So like it sounds quite wide, but your uterus is still large, right? Like all your organs have to then shrink, and that takes months to do. So like, again, number one piece of advice is just give yourself a break. You've done a really good job. You've just had a baby. You've just grown a human.
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
The word because you hear about so I was gonna swap everyone to a plastic. That's okay. So you know how people get postpartum depression.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what is postpartum? Like, is that just that whole stomach thing there, or like
so postpartum refers to a period of time after you've had the baby.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, any period of time after you've had the baby.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I get
So
it.
when people are like 6 weeks postpartum, they've had a baby 6 weeks ago, sort of thing.
I didn't want to say.
Imagine they're like 24 months postpartum.
Well, I just thought that was. I just thought.
Surely not.
Literally, the only time I've heard that in is postpartum depression. That's the only time I've heard that. That's why I'm like, I didn't know there was so many
literally fair enough.
Yeah.
For not knowing what that meant.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
how
feel
long
like
did you
if
say
you're-
it was postpartum.
For what?
Did you say there was a length of postpartum?
No, so postpartum is just a reference to a period of time. So you're
Oh,
6
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
postpartum,
Okay,
like
yeah.
Post.
Yeah.
Because I guess like I've never taken interest in pregnancy and stuff because I've never wanted kids before, and it's just never really like. But now I'm kind of like, actually, I'm
like just have questions.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's
baby.
such an interesting, like I feel like the things that you say you have knowledge on, like what you specialize in, I think we found so interesting.
Yeah.
Like the next one I think we were going to talk about is it the stress I don't know how to say
Stress incontinence.
it. Yeah. So what is that?
So
Because we had to
Essentially-
define the meaning of that word. We didn't know.
yeah. So incontinence is essentially leaking urine involuntary. So a lot of people normalize leaking when you cough, sneeze, run, any like increase in pressure in your tummy.
Yeah.
Chris Jenner
Um,
gets. She
Jenner.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's normalized everywhere. You can see on like panty liner ads that it's like, oh, this normal thing that happens. It's not normal, but it's very common, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we can all say like we've sneezed once and like let out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister used to wear her knickers all the time by laughing too much.
Oh, yeah, I've peed myself by
I
laughing
can't
too
say
much.
I've actually
Well,
peed
yeah.
myself. I'm not going to lie.
You're not
Laughing or
that's fine.
sneezing. Yeah, no.
Really?
But
It's
my
from public
sisters and my mum do it all the time.
Yeah.
Are they both had kids?
Even the middle one, she's now pregnant,
Yeah.
but she did it before pregnancy.
Yeah. So it's super common. So
Yeah.
like basically you kind of have to start with what your pelvic floor actually is. So your pelvic floor is a group of muscles that goes from your pubic bone all the way to your coccyx and either side, and it acts like a hammock.
Wow. So
So
I
like-
didn't know it was that large.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so your pelvis is like a basin, right? Like a ring of bones, and the whole bottom of it is a pelvic floor.
Interesting.
So it
Oh,
holds up
okay.
your like bladder, uterus,
the whole
urethra, everything.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So its job is, well, it has many jobs, but one of it is to withhold the pressure. So when you cough or sneeze, you increase the pressure in your tummy, which bears down on the pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Now, if your pelvic floor is not strong enough to tolerate that, then it'll open up the sphincters and you'll let out a little bit of wee. And obviously this is, again, individual. Everyone's really different. There's heaps of different types of incontinence. So it's not just stress incontinence. You can have like urge incontinence when you feel the need to wee, but then the size of your wee doesn't match the urge. Like it's
Oh, wow.
totally...
True.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just come from being pregnant.
No, and that's the thing. It's all normalized to like an older women problem or a post-baby problem, but there's plenty of women that have it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to no one actually knows where their pelvic floor is, how to use it, how to activate
Well, I
it.
didn't.
Yeah, and everyone kind of knows this Kegels.
Kegels.
Yeah.
Your Kegel
Yeah.
exercises. Yeah.
What
Like-
would you say to what's the best way to strengthen your pelvic floor?
So I'd say a lot of people come in doing it wrong to begin with.
Yeah.
So a lot
Yeah.
of people think Kegels is like this tense thing, but like by tensing and squeezing your abs, you're actually bearing down on your pelvic floor. So that's not helping anything.
Okay.
Isn't it like when you like tense
Have you been
your
doing
vagina?
that?
Like
Yeah.
when you're clenching or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I just...
So
Yeah.
Do you do Kegels?
I can imagine her doing it at work at a
I'm doing it.
desk.
Like, you do it right now. Like,
the thing is, because this came up in conversation with my elder sister who's just had her baby, and we would, because I told her you were coming on, and I was like, do you have any questions, and all of that, and we were talking about Kegels, and she's like, no, I do, like, I'm doing them now, like, and I was like, well, what do you mean?
You can literally just do them.
Because I thought, because then when she said she was doing it now, and then I was trying to do it, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know if I am. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, how do you know? Because I'm, my bum hole is going, like.
But see, when I do it, I don't do that with my bum hole. I just do it with my vagina.
See, my bum hole goes in every time.
Hang on.
This
Let me
is
sit here
it,
for a
right?
second.
Like, who knows what to do?
That's so true. But yeah, my bum hole doesn't go in when I do it.
So you're just getting like a vaginal lift?
Yeah, I'm just getting like...
And you just get a bum hole lift?
Well, I feel like the whole thing is...
Yeah. So how I check it in clinic is with an ultrasound machine. So an ultrasound when you like check things.
I feel like I want to come in because I don't know.
Come check your pelvic floor.
I'm stressed.
Like standing in front of me.
So I think that's the most useful thing to use because you can actually see if it's working on the screen, right? So we'll get a lift of the muscles and a relax. So I say the number one thing people do wrong is they tense their bum or their abs.
Yeah.
And they get this like full contraction.
I wouldn't even know how to do that. No,
You'd actually be surprised. So the easiest way to activate your pelvic floor, if you've never done it before, is laying on your side, put your hand over your vagina and anus, and you should feel a lift away from your hand with the muscles. So you shouldn't feel your bum muscles clench, you shouldn't feel your abs clench, you should just feel this like subtle lift away, like you're holding in a wee and nothing else.
Yeah.
I think I do them right.
I think I do them right as well then.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm still going to test it out, but that's a really good method.
Yeah. So sometimes we say if you want to check if your pelvic floor can work is like when you're midstream in a wee, try and stop it.
That was
I can do that.
The question was like a permanent thing to always like to stop yourself from
do that.
No, sorry, to strengthen your bladder. Do you hold in your wee or do you stop and start?
So I actually hate this question.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, oh my god,
no, we love it.
I love it.
I get it all the time. So like breaking it down to strengthen your bladder
Or your pelvic floor.
Yeah, so your bladder and your pelvic floor are separate, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people think it's just like one combined thing that works. So bladder, pelvic floor are separate. We say do it once to see if you can do it, but don't do it all the time. That is a perfect way to get a UTI, right?
Yeah,
By holding
bladder
your
infection and shit. Yeah.
So
Never
like
holding
I
your
have a
weight.
friend of mine, I won't like spill the tea
Yeah,
on who
yeah,
it
yeah.
was, but she used to always hold in, like stop her wheeze, like stop and start her wheeze to strengthen her pelvic floor. Which is, we get it all the time, right? But
I can feel the pain.
How a UTI starts is like retained urine in your bladder that just like sits
there.
Yeah, and gets infected. So I would do it once in my life, if that.
Yeah.
Just to see if it works and see what it feels like. But other than that, don't do that to strengthen your bladder.
See, I didn't think that's what you were meant to do either.
Yeah, but that I would say that's one of the most common myths I hear.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's really funny you say that. I remember my mum. Was it my mum?
I think it might have been because my mum used to tell me.
My mum told me, she goes, it's good to learn to hold in your wee because when you're pregnant, you're going to have to do it all the time because you need a wee all the time. Or something. And she said something like that. She's like, it's good to learn to hold in your wee.
Yeah, so mummy's wrong.
Mummy's wrong.
Mummy's
wrong.
Sorry. Yeah, so it's not good to hold on to your wheeze, I think.
No. I mean, I don't, because like, I'm very prone to
and
UTIs
she
anyway.
wouldn't have known that back in the day
no.
either. So.
And I think that's the difference. Like, so physios have only been coming into hospitals for the last 10 or so years and like doing a postnatal checkup. So before that, like,
really?
Like even my mum, some of her beliefs around the pelvic floor, they're so old school and they're so wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same with a lot of things. Like the education isn't the same.
Have,
like they don't have Google.
Yeah.
No.
It's totally different. So like don't stop and start your wheeze. Don't hold on to your wheeze if you need to go.
Yeah.
Just go. And if you feel like your bladder sensation, as in like you need to go all the time and you're only going a little bit at each time, that's like an urge incontinence. So everyone is different. The reason for that is different for everyone. So just go see someone, get it sorted out, find out what that reason is for you, because you don't actually have to live with having to go to the toilet 15 times a day.
I actually knew someone who does. I know someone who does that.
I think
Yeah.
I was
What do
thinking
you-
the same person?
What,
Yeah.
goes to the toilet all the time?
Yeah, like who, like why is that? Is there a specific reason, or is it a bunch of different reasons
So
of why someone would pee only like a little bit and like
yeah,
But needing
so
to pee all the time.
more the urge incontinence is the sensation of your bladder. So that your bladder sends the signal to you that you need to go when it's full, right? So the stretch of the walls tells your brain it's like, cool, it's time to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
But with urge incontinence, that signal gets a bit jumbled. So
Yeah.
even when you've got a little bit of urine sitting in your bladder, you
It's
get
like,
that.
oh no.
Yeah, you get that stretch and you feel like you need to go. Like I could talk for ages on that of why that could happen, but it's so individual
okay.
for that.
So if you go and get a checkup, they'll be able to tell you why and like what to do.
go see either a GP who is women's health or a women's health physio.
Yeah,
Okay,
and they'll
so
be able to help.
that person
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
potentially come and see you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I didn't know the answer, there's like a senior I work with who's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
there's always someone that can help.
Interesting.
Definitely.
I love that.
Yeah, but it's more the mismatch between the sensation of your bladder and what's actually coming out. But there's plenty of things we can try and do.
To fix it.
Yeah, so we use a lot of like bladder diaries, so you can write down like what the urge was, like how much you needed to go, and then how much actually came out, and like keep track of what you're drinking, because fluid's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
like caffeinated drinks change
Yeah, they
the
make
sensation.
pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
I
they
learned
just-
that at work.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
change
what?
the sensation
So
of your
caffeine,
bladder.
yeah, caffeine makes
Yeah.
you pee more. Because I was drinking my vanilla ice lattes every morning when I went to work, and then I was like, "Fuck, I need to pee." And then Craig, one of the guys, he's like, "Yeah, it's because you're drinking coffee." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, it's because you're drinking coffee, like a large freaking coffee." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
I did not know that either.
And I was like, "Yeah, the caffeine, it makes you pee. And that's why energy drinks and stuff, all that kind of stuff, it's just
Yeah.
like it makes you pee more."
And even things with bubbles as well.
Yeah.
So champagne.
No wonder when we're going out on a night, like when we're out on a night out, and you just constantly need a wee.
When you break that seal.
Yeah. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Um, So what's the is there any similarities between women and men pelvic floors?
Yeah, so
Is it like
what's
the
the
same?
men?
what do you like similarities as in
Same issues.
there is same issues, but because men have a longer urethra, it's harder for them to get stress incontinence.
Okay.
We most see it after like a prostate cancer or a surgery or something like that, but it does happen. Like it's not as common as females because our urethra is a lot shorter, therefore a lot harder to control.
Yeah.
But for men, I'd say the biggest thing we'd get in kind of like the people listening to this podcast would be painful sex.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So I was actually talking to a friend. I was saying like I was coming on to the podcast, and there was a section on like male pelvic floor, and she was like, "Do they have a pelvic floor?" Of course they have a pelvic floor.
Yeah,
So,
you mentioned this, and I was shocked. Like, what are you?
yeah.
mean?
So the male pelvic floor is the exact same, except instead of a vagina, there's a penis, right?
Yeah.
So for men, we kind of we cue it like when you go into cold water and your scrotum or your like balls that comes up, that's your pelvic floor working.
Oh,
Um,
shrimp dick.
Yeah. Like I can't say what it feels like, but that's the cue we kind of use. So they can do pelvic floor muscle exercise. There's lots of benefits for pelvic floor muscle exercises for both sex. Like it improves your orgasms, it improves sex, it stops incontinence, things like that. Like improves your, like if you're getting incontinence, you're wearing liners, you know, it affects your social life as well. It depends on where you go and what you do.
Yeah.
So for men in particular, I feel like they don't talk about painful sex. Like I've been asking my male friends, I'm like, do any of you have painful sex?
Yeah,
Like,
how would
yeah.
men-
You wouldn't think a guy would, because
Neither,
like I feel
yeah.
like guys are. It always feels good, but
I
you never
always-
genuinely ask
Yeah.
them. Like,
No.
Well, see,
I always think that painful sex is just like
For women.
for girls.
Women.
Yeah.
Because
Same.
I was having sex the other day, and then it was weird because like it never normally hurts, but this time it hurt. But then like when Tyson went in, it hurt, but then he felt it at the same time, and he was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know what just happened," but it was weird that he felt it as well.
Did maybe
That
he felt that you were too tight?
know.
Maybe
Did you like freak out and flinch or like clench or something?
I think I might have maybe clenched or something because it just instantly, it was like just, you know, like the pain that you get when you have
Yeah.
sex, and I haven't had that in a really, really,
Have you
really
heard
long
about that
time.
before?
But it was just interesting
but,
to me.
What do you mean the pain that you have
Like
when
a
you have
sharp
sex?
pain, but that's what I mean. Like I haven't had it in like years.
Yeah.
Since years.
So this one was just a sharp pain,
just
and you
a
both
where?
felt it.
Yeah.
Was it
like here?
Yeah. So,
Yeah. But then like everything's fine again.
Yeah.
It was that one time thing.
and
Yeah.
painful sex for women is super common. Like, I
Oh
would
yeah.
say we
Yeah.
see it quite a bit more than men, but I don't know if that's because men aren't talking about it.
True.
what's the male one first?
Yes.
Yeah. What is
Go
the
into
male one?
Painful sex.
So it tends to be, again, individual, but it tends to be men who have a hypertonic or a really tight pelvic floor.
Okay.
So it becomes like hypersensitized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, I think when we think about painful sex, we think of it going through a tight hole and then it hurts the female.
Yeah.
But men who do like a lot of abdominal exercises in the gym or are just really tight muscles in general can have painful sex.
Interesting.
Did not know that. That's
Yeah.
Really? That's crazy.
But where does it hurt for them? Do you know?
the penis.
Was it hurt like
Like
in
the tip?
their?
Like from what and that's the thing, like I don't see a lot
It's
of it in the
different for
clinic,
everyone as
but
well.
yeah, I can't say I've had one come through the clinic, but from what I've learnt about it, it's just painful.
Like an
around the
all-over
penis.
pain.
Around
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
But
That's
again,
so
I haven't seen it in
interesting.
the clinic. I don't
And it's
think
all
me-
because of abdominal muscles and stuff like that, pretty much.
And
well,
their pelvic
hypertonic pelvic
being
floor.
too tight.
So more tight pelvic
Wow.
floor
Okay.
makes it a little bit more sensitized. But I'd say, like, I don't like if guys are listening to this podcast and they're having painful sex. I haven't seen one through the clinic. No one talks about it, but it's normal and it happens. And there's people out there that can, because no one wants to go through life having painful sex.
No.
Right?
No.
And I think for women, we're more likely to seek help for it. But if men are having
They just
painful
don't
sex,
say anything.
yeah, they should go and see a pelvic health.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they
or
specialise
doctor
in,
or-
so it's not like they're embarrassed.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not like
You
it's
shouldn't
not a
be
thing, because
embarrassed
otherwise
either.
it wouldn't be a...
Like a
Yeah, and
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say if you don't want to talk to someone yet for your personal reasons, there's the Continence website,
Yeah.
and you go who it affects, male pelvic floor, and there's a whole section on
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
no
wow,
way.
okay.
That is
Well,
so
we
cool.
can
We'll
link.
it.
We'll link that
That's
in the
good.
description in the podcast.
Because
Yeah.
I think, as long as you've got the information on there, and then if you want to seek help,
Then you can.
then you can.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
And then
That's
what
so
about
cool.
women's
Women's
painful sex?
I mean, we've all had it.
Yeah,
Mm.
really. So,
Well,
I
mean,
guess,
I
Right,
spoke.
yeah, I have.
I
yeah,
have.
which is
Yeah.
which is fair enough. And I think when I was younger, definitely the same. And I think that
I
was
feel like
a
it was
lack of-
more when younger.
a lack
Oh,
of
I've been
knowledge.
experiencing it lately, but I'm now seeing like a naturopath, and we like fixed it, which is good.
Interesting. I'd love to dive into that.
Yeah, we can
I would love
off
to.
the potty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, again, very individualized. If you're having painful sex, it's very different. So some people can have painful sex during penetration,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's okay once it's kind of warmed up.
Yeah.
Or some people have it after a while. If they lose their arousal, then it becomes painful. So for everyone, it's really different, and you shouldn't be in pain when having sex.
Yeah.
So if you are, there's definitely people that can help. Individual assessment would be the key. See someone who you trust and who you're like open to.
Yeah.
But one of the main causes we see for painful sex is, again, like a hypertonic or a really tight pelvic floor, which can be caused by heaps of different things. So again, similar to the male, like tight pelvic floors, women who do a lot of like abdominal exercises tend to have really tight pelvic floors.
Yeah.
It can be a huge link to like stress and anxiety. So one of the big pieces of advice is you need to be comfortable in the situation that you're in. If you're stressed or if you're anxious and your pelvic floor is tight, you're going to feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you're already.
That makes
Yeah.
okay. Well, that explains
Do you
it.
know-
I think that's what it was with
What-
me then in that time because all right, maybe too much information. Okay, you know what's
Yeah, no.
podcast? Fuck it. The position
think
that I
you've
was
talked about it.
doing. No, the position that I was doing was like literally like my legs were like around his neck and like and I think it's because like obviously you're thinking about your body and stuff and I think
Oh,
at
you
that moment
aren't
I was
feeling
just
great
like
either.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I think that's when it happened. And then after that, it was fine. 'Cause I was like, it's in my head. It's
Get
in my
out
head.
of it, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's actually really good. I'm glad. Actually, that probably just solved all my problems. right there and then.
Yeah,
So,
and
thank you.
like I remember my first time so stressed, anxious,
Oh, God,
therefore
yeah.
painful. You know, it's really, I think it's normalized a lot more than it should be.
Yeah.
Like if you're not feeling comfortable in that moment,
Don't
you have
have sex.
every right to say no.
Yeah.
Do it.
I think
people.
we've spoken about this, I think, as well, like, literally last week. Like, sex is not
Yeah.
everything. Like, it's
It's
fine.
okay.
Like, you don't need to
Yeah.
have it. Like, don't feel rushed or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Painful sex.
Painful sex.
Not being aroused. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, all of that.
What are the main reasons it happens?
Like, yeah, so like abdominal work, feeling stressed. There's also some conditions that can cause it. So, I know there's been a lot more research into stuff like endometriosis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Vaginismus and things like that.
What's
so like
vaginismus?
it's a condition where your pelvic floor muscles kind of go into spasm.
Oh, I've heard about this.
involuntarily.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where seeing someone can be so helpful, because there's a lot of ways we can relax your pelvic floor, right?
Do you know how many
So-
people I just want to see? I just want to see all the health professionals.
Just like,
Just tell me everything about what was wrong with me.
Why shouldn't you know everything about your body?
Exactly.
that's true though. It's
The
true.
more I do this and the more we read and stuff like that.
The more you want to know.
Sorry,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Just dropped a vape on the table.
So one of my favourite ways to relax a pelvic floor would be some stretches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show you.
Get into
they're
this.
all very awkward positions.
Oh,
Would you
that's
care if you sent us a video of you doing the stretches?
I can do them right now.
Oh
no,
my
no, no.
God.
I want to post them on our story.
Oh, yeah. Do what you need
Or
to
you
do.
can send them to us and
Oh.
we can reenact them.
Yeah,
out.
or
Yeah,
we'll reenact
yeah,
post
we
them.
can reenact them
No,
for you.
they're very normal things. There's
Yeah.
no
Okay.
reason why you should be ashamed to do them.
Yeah,
That's
Could
I
you
would
do
just
one
be
now
nice-
without having to move anything right now?
Yeah, so I guess my favourite pelvic floor stretch is like a happy baby, which I can do here
A
without
happy
knocking
baby.
any
Any
wine glasses
wines.
over. So you lay on your back,
Yeah.
feet come up,
Oh.
and you hold your feet. So
Yeah.
you know
What? They get you to do that at the end of yoga.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No
Happy
way.
baby stretch.
Happy baby. I like that.
And the biggest thing is like relaxation of your pelvic floor, right? So when you do a contraction, you should have equal time relaxing your pelvic floor.
Okay.
So a lot of people do like a pelvic floor contraction, and then they contract, and then they
they
contract.
keep
It's like,
going.
no, relax, and then contract.
Okay.
Then relax,
Oh my
and then go.
god.
So if you're like back to pelvic floor exercises, if you're doing a contraction, your relaxation should match. So if you're doing like a 1 second on, 1 second off, fine. If you want to work more like endurance, then you would hold for 10 seconds and then have 10 seconds off, you know, to relax it. And it's just as important.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Cool.
That's cool.
That is really
I'm
cool.
gonna do all these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you send us all the videos.
Catch
Yeah.
us just doing all the happy baby. We've got our legs in the air.
We record a podcast and
We're
we're
like,
just like,
hey guys, welcome back.
Yeah.
What about, like, you know, what are they called? You know the balls that you insert into your vagina for, like, Kegel exercises? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
What are they called?
I don't know.
There's heaps of that. And I actually get asked this way too much. So a lot of what I'm saying here is like research backed, but this is just my own personal opinion. I just think, what's the bloody point?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just some bacteria-filled bowl that you're putting into your vagina to close on. Like,
We love that.
just use your pelvic floor, just on and off. If
Yeah.
you're not sure how to do it, do the sideline hand over
Yeah.
vagina trick. If
Yeah.
you're still not sure how to do it, come see me, someone else with a real-time ultrasound machine to have a look if you're doing it properly.
Yeah.
There is no need to buy anything.
Yeah.
There is no magic.
Well, it's
Thing
been
that you
studied
so
to do it on your own,
on
with your
your
own
own,
body.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah, you
It's
really
funny.
don't need
That's so
anything
good.
else.
Because I was looking at Rosie Reese, which we have talked about
Yeah, we've spoken
before.
about her before.
She's like this like yoni fucking guru, like
About
vagina
I
guru.
don't know who this is.
No, that's
No, it's
fine.
okay.
I didn't know until I
I
listened
wonder
to a
if you'd
podcast.
if you like her though, if you find
You
it
might
interesting.
find her interesting
yeah,
because she
you
is
might.
all about women's health and
Vagina health
vagina.
and
She
stuff.
has
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these like what do you call them? Crystal dildos and
Yeah,
like
made out of
rose
glass and
quartz
stuff.
dildos and you know all of that.
Sure.
They're not your
Yeah.
normal kind of
So
dildos.
she has
though.
this thing called the
tentacle?
the sacred squirter, and it comes in a package called the G-Spot Awakener. So this dildo is in the shape. Can you get it up?
Yeah, I'm getting it up right
Sacred
now.
squirter.
This one?
No, that's not it. It
Oh, we
looks
want
like
the
the
tentacle.
tentacle.
Hang on, where is...
Where are we going with this? this?
No, so
Oh,
it's,
no,
I
it's
just
really
wanted to
good.
show you.
Trust.
So the G-Spot Awakener kit comes with this dildo and the Kegel balls, but it's a rose quartz, so it looks like this. So this is the G-Spot of the sacred squirter. Apparently helps you squirt.
Yeah.
Great, but then
Where's the...
so the Kegel,
I
it's
think she's
literally
holding.
picture a rose quartz rock.
It's just a ball.
It's just a rock, and
it
she's
this thing?
saying, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, a yoni ball, a yoni thing.
And what does she do with it?
They say that you put that in, and you can use that as like a Kegel.
How the hell do you get
Why
that
do they
out?
say that to use them?
I think it's for that feed, like...
Is
that
it more of a
feedback
pleasure
of-
feeling?
I don't think you're going to... Okay, you could feel pleasure from inserting something. It's not necessary for a pelvic floor.
Yeah,
or
okay, so it's like a
exercise.
different reason.
I've never
Why do they
recommended...
say though to use them? Is there a reason?
I'd say it was for that sensation of feedback to know that you're doing it properly.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can feel it go.
Yeah,
But in
makes
saying
sense.
You still don't need it.
You still
don't need it.
Okay.
You know, like, wash it properly. Don't get used to it.
Yeah, buy
Yeah.
buy a toy cleaner or something.
Yeah.
Oh, she sells all that too. But I was just looking at that the other day, and it was just, and then
I
we
forgot
said we were
about
going to
them.
have you on, and I was like, I'll just wait to see
And
if it's
ask.
even worth.
Yeah, so I
Purchasing.
think... No, it's not worth
I
purchasing.
mean, the
Like,
dildo
no-
might be
no
worth it, but not the ball.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna.
If you're gonna
anyway.
buy something, buy the dildo. Don't buy the rose quartz
ball thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they're
You
really
don't
not
need them.
necessary, and I
Yeah.
think it feeds into all the shit out there on the internet that is so incorrect and potentially harmful.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot on incontinence of the panty liners of like incontinence being normalized, and it's really like you don't
You
have
can
to
fix
live
it.
with like weeing yourself. You really
Yeah.
don't have to. You shouldn't feel ashamed of it.
No.
But there's so much you can do for it.
Yeah.
Particularly, and it's not like this normal thing. I've had a baby and I'm always weeing myself.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm off on this tangent because it really bothers
No,
me.
No, that's
great.
okay. No, we
It's-
like this. This is what I mean.
yeah,
That's what we like to
It's
hear.
like spoken about as in like, well, you just have to wear panty liners now and deal with it.
Yeah.
When actually, you
Yeah.
can get rid of it and you don't have to wear panty
And
liners.
I even see it in movies sometimes. It's like,
and you
just
don't
weed
need
myself, I had a
anything to
baby.
do. Like,
It's
you just do it yourself.
It's not this fate that we have to accept
No.
because for some people it's really embarrassing. They're like out with their friends and they're scared to laugh.
Yeah.
It's really,
Yeah.
That's
That's
sad.
the reality
is
of
really
it.
It's
sad.
interesting because like I grew up like my mum sometimes my mum doesn't wee herself a lot, but like if she's really hysterically laughing,
Yeah.
she will wee herself, and we've all just put it down like she's had 4 kids, like you know, like
Yeah.
this is just her life. And I'm like, well, great, can't wait to have kids until I piss myself.
Well,
But if
yeah,
you're
that's
saying,
what
like,
that's what I thought as well. Like, once you have it, you have it. Like,
you know, like all
Yeah.
this shit happens that you can't fix.
So one thing would be do it to prevent that from happening. Do it during your pregnancy, because during your pregnancy you're growing the weight of a baby, which is bearing down on your pelvic floor. It's going to be harder for it to control. Like, it's just what it is.
what it is. Yeah.
But you can do the exercises to prevent it, to help it, everything. But if you're having it, go get an individual assessment. Get it sorted out.
That's really cool that you can get a pelvic floor assessment.
That's
yeah,
really
of
cool.
Because
course
the
you can.
conversation I was having with my sister, that I was like, I don't know if I'm doing it. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm like making all these faces.
Yeah.
Has she had an
You let out a
assessment
queef
before?
instead.
She must have.
No, but I think she obviously just must know if she's doing
Maybe
it.
the nurse told her or her.
Yeah, someone,
Maybe
I don't
someone.
know, maybe someone might have taught her, but and I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't know if I'm doing the right thing.
It
And
wouldn't
'cause,
surprise
like,
me if you're literally just like clenching your whole entire, like, you know how you're like,
no, I can feel.
Which is the opposite of what you need, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
If you're clenching everything,
Yeah.
you're like
no, I can
straining your pelvic
clench
floor.
down here, but I'm saying my bum hole also goes up.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is good. So your pelvic floor...
like, it can like a little bit, but like, the main
no.
focus
Your,
is the...
your pelvic floor should close your anal sphincter and your vagina.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
come in anyway. We don't know.
I'm definitely doing
Quick,
it
let me
right.
put my hand there.
They would have
and
just seen
clench
my-
for me.
They would have seen my
okay.
concentration
Clench for
face
me.
the whole time, and I was just like this.
Wait, no.
Right, this is
And
alright.
the thing
Are you
is,
gonna lay on your side?
If you, again, on that website, on the Continence Foundation website, there's cues on how to do it.
Oh.
And like how to know if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
If you're like too embarrassed to say something, that's fine.
Okay. We talk about our bodies on the internet. So
Yeah.
I think we've got. Do we have one more question? I think we've got one more question.
I like this kind of.
Oh, the correct way to poo.
Yes.
Oh,
What?
I love this one.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
so
we doing it wrong? Are we
intrigued.
doing
Dog,
it
I'm
right?
actually intrigued because
Yeah.
like
I really
So-
sometimes
I
I
love
have
the poo.
I struggle to go to the toilet.
See, and I think
another
No,
podcast.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a drunken app.
in,
Sorry, yes.
in this is one of my other myths of like hemorrhoids are just a pregnancy thing.
That's a
Because
lie.
So
Yeah, that's definitely a lie.
it happens.
I've gotten a hemorrhoid
everyone.
before.
Have you?
Yeah. I didn't even know I had one because like it hurts. And then, like,
My dad
Have-
freaked me
but, like,
out
it can
one
go
time
away- it goes
saying
on
that,
away
like,
on its own.
Something hangs out your bum
Yeah.
hole.
No, but it's funny because like I'm not gonna say who, but someone, I can't give that away either because that's too. Okay, someone that I know. I'm just gonna say someone that I know. He got them, and like it either like had to like push it back
up.
in, or like you get it like removed, and it was just the funniest thing. It was it, but then I got one myself because it's like when you push too hard, and then
Yeah,
like it's
and
like
so many people strain to go to the toilet.
yeah.
So I guess like this changed my life.
Okay.
It really did.
I mean,
Because
so-
I think women in particular are more prone to like not going in public toilets and therefore like always holding and
Me.
then
No,
yeah.
I do.
Literally me.
Nah, I go to the toilet. Like I used to hate it, but I'm like, oh, I've got to go, man. I can't.
If, you,
Yeah.
if you've got to go, you've got to go.
Because then, like, if you
So-
hold your poopy and then you get tummy cramps and your
Yeah.
tummy hurts, and
That
it's,
was-
just,
then it
it's
gets
not fun.
dehydrated and it just like it impacts the
Hardens.
whole system. Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
no,
literally
no,
me.
no.
Like I would literally only go at home and like at a certain time when I know I could be like calm and free, and then I was constipated for 6 weeks.
That's probably why you.
6
That's
weeks,
that's
wow.
probably why your years of constipation is because you always hold your poop in.
Yeah, but now I kind of go at freely. It
Yeah.
depends. Like even at work, I'm still a bit iffy unless like I literally have to go. But now this year was like the first year where I'm kind of open. Like even at Anton's house, it
'Cause
took
she
me
would-
7 years to go poop at Anton's house.
She would not.
I would
she,
hold it.
She would
I
not
would not
poop
fart.
for like
And
weeks.
I
nothing.
can understand that, right? Like for some reason it's embarrassing or taboo or something, but like it's human nature. You
It's
gotta go,
normal.
you gotta go.
Like
It's
it
so
is normal,
weird
but it's
'cause
just
I'm
like
not-
I don't know.
I'm such an open person, but that just one thing I just couldn't
I'm
do.
this. Yeah,
and
I'm
if
probably
you
the
feel
same.
like that, your pelvic floor is gonna feel like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the correct, like to go back to the question, the correct way to poo is
Yeah.
with your knees above your hips. So get
stool.
yourself a stool.
My cousin does that.
You can thank me later. You can actually thank me later.
I'm buying
because
mine.
So what actually happens is, so this really Western way of pooping is like knees lower than hips. It closes off your rectum, whereas if you bring your knees up, it opens up so that you can go more easily.
Question. Sorry.
You may speak.
Question. Is that why, like, you know when you go to Bali, there's
They're squat.
squat toilets where like they're in the floor and you have to,
So that's like if you
Is
if
that
you go
why?
back
Yeah, because back in
evolutionary,
And,
the
like,
day-
India-
how
'cause I
we-
know
that's
Anton-
how, like, if there wasn't a toilet, that's how we'd go, right?
and your knees are above your hips.
but is that just because it was
No
so much better for them to go
shit.
that way? Like,
No
is,
shit.
or they
I
just,
just think that's a cultural thing they haven't.
right, they haven't discovered that
Yeah,
that's the
but I
easiest way to
think-
go.
They're
I
tiny
honestly
people
think
and they need
that's-
small toilets.
Well, maybe not, but that is
I'm
how
not politically
how we're kind of meant to go. You
That
know,
is
right?
crazy.
So it's a couple of cues I give. So get yourself a poop stool. And particularly, like, we see this really common postnatally because people are really scared to go after they've had a baby.
Yeah, that's going to
So-
be your worst fear, Casey.
So I'd say for the, like, if anyone's listening and they're postpartum, wrap your hand in toilet paper. Give yourself a little bit of support over your perineum or
Okay,
like
I
where
have a
your vagina is, so that you can go comfortably.
that's
I
smart.
kind of do that now. I can't
Do
poo
you
unless I
see
do it.
What?
Really? Give yourself
You
a
put
little
your
bit of
hand
support.
on your vagina and go to the toilet.
Really?
Because I'd been so sorry to cut you off, but
Go on.
It's common, girl.
when I poo, I have to put my, it will not come out unless I do it.
Really?
I have to go like this and then push and then like,
Okay,
Why?
you're gonna come see me, but
You have issues.
so no, like not even because it's really common. So it's almost. So your pelvic floor is your anus, vagina, everything, right? So
Yeah.
if you, like, you seem like someone who has strained a lot in the past
no, I just didn't poo.
or didn't poo.
Yeah.
right?
Never,
Like you're
never,
always-
Full
never
constipated.
poo. Even her sister was like that.
So
Connie did-
like
yeah.
so for example, like, again, really individualized, go seek some help if this is you, but for, like, I'm just chatting to you as a friend, not as a physio. There's a couple of things I would say to initiate that. So if you're really constipated, what are you drinking?
I usually just drink water. I've only just started drinking coffee.
And, like, do you drink like enough water?
2 liters.
I feel like I
do you
did.
drink a day?
Oh, fuck knows. I only drink, like, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you having like fiber in your diet?
I just started to bring, like, poo's a little bit more regular than what it was a year
Yeah,
ago
for sure.
because of
Yeah,
my
good.
diet. Like, Kiki, you know, like, diet's
For sure.
changed. I can now,
Oh, Kiki's
she's now
is
changed
amazing.
my life. Like,
And
you
I
can
love
eat
her
carbs.
mindset of everything as well. So what you say about her, like introducing carbs. So carbs are really important because they have
Yeah.
a lot of fiber. So fiber can be, like something to soften your poo, but it also can be something to bulk it up. So depending on what type of
Yeah.
fiber it is, I really like chia seed. Like if you're constipated, chia seeds are really good because they're a bit of both in that they absorb a lot of water, but they also can bulk your poo together, so you're not having like little pebbles.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So your poo should look like a sausage. It should be a type
And
sauce.
apparently
Sorry,
it
I'm
should
so
sink.
mature.
And apparently it should sink, not float. Is that true?
I haven't heard anything.
Apparently it should.
I've
Is that a
never
question? Or?
No.
ever looked at
apparently
my
you
poo.
should. Give me-
Never. I don't get how people
You
can look at
should.
it. No.
Yeah,
I've
like
never.
that would be a type for poop. Like if you're having
Type 4.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
types of poos.
Yeah, I've googled it.
There's things on
Can't look-
Instagram where it
Yeah, of
tells
course
you.
there is, and that's how
Remember
we...
how, like, in high school when guys would send their shits to each other? And I'm like,
No.
just my friend group, alright.
Because you went to Hammy.
I remember that.
You boys are all fucked.
I remember that, and I'm like Kelvin Whitney, if you're listening.
Calvin, mate! What's going on?
He went on my laptop and he went on ratemypoo.com.
Oh my god, I
I'm in
remember
class
that.
at Iona, and I opened my laptop and it's like ratemypoo.com. I was mortified. This is like year 9.
Boys were weird.
no.
Yeah, they were so weird. They would send their poos to each other.
I feel like
they
he
would
would
just go
do
to the
that
to-
now.
Yeah, 100%.
A
I feel
lot
like
of
even the
boys
guys would do it. Like, yeah.
Oh, I'm
Because it
very.
was just like, I don't get what it was. The
I'll get
fascination
an
about big
appointment with
poos. that
you.
boys
Yeah,
have.
no, but it's important. So like if you don't know how to to complete like how to poo properly, have your feet up, lean forward, like elbows on your knees, and instead of like, you know how you like push and strain down, you should actually blow up your belly and make it really large so it opens up your colon.
No
so
way.
that you can
No
go. Yeah.
way.
It'll change your it'll change your life.
Sit
I
like
kind of want to poo now. Just test it out.
Well,
Can you let me
Bring
know
the
how you
tissue.
go?
yeah, I want to because I haven't. Oh my god, yeah. She cries and she says.
when she
Okay.
Because it's really nice.
I
feeling,
don't
apparently.
know. I don't know why.
We were gonna. I literally.
Have I missed this on the podcast?
No,
it's
because
never been
We
said.
always forget about to say. Cause, okay, I told these guys maybe like 2 years ago now. Like they just
Can't let it go.
Every poo?
You need
I
to come
don't.
closer,
Well,
doll.
it's not every poo. I don't know what it is. Okay, there's some poos I'm like, yeah, I just need to poo. But then they're like the ones that I'm just like, I need to poo. Like I just can't wait for this poop. And then I poo, and then like I'm not even like streams of tears just come out my face. I don't know if it's like a sensation
It
feeling.
is. It must be.
She
cool.
like
So
sends
nice.
us Snapchats and she's like, it was a good one.
And I'm talking like it's not just one tear. It's like it's streaming down
It's
my
not,
face.
like it's not pain.
no,
it's satisfaction.
Do you cry a lot or
not more than normal now. I mean,
Nah.
do you know what?
no, since I opened up my
You do
feeling
you.
phone.
You
like,
do you.
Yeah, it's more like I don't, fuck. She's just looking at me like I'm the weirdest cunt.
No,
This is
No,
like-
that's
No,
so.
that's
I
the
reckon it's
thing.
the funniest thing about you.
No,
Yeah.
and if you feel like
call it poop cry.
poop crying.
It's funny because I've been trying to. I always once we do like a drunk episode or like people
we
send
actually
in
forgot about that
questions,
last episode.
and the thing is when I'm editing, I'm like, fucking Emma's poo.
I know.
Yeah, like I
I always forget it. Like I should write my own
All right,
question
well,
in.
there you go.
Now everyone knows
There's
it.
your-
God damn it.
I'm so glad it's out.
I've always said it though, ever since I was a kid.
You're
Like,
gonna have the biggest sook when you have the best poop of your life, when your knees are up above your
I can't wait for you
I
to
can't
feel
wait
it.
to have my next poop.
Yeah.
No, I don't go every day.
You
I
don't
don't
go
know if
every
that's
day?
normal or
Oh
not.
yeah,
3
what-
times a week to 3 times a day.
I do. I
Depends on
probably
you.
do like 3 times a day.
But the biggest
wish
thing
I
is
was
that
like
you're
that.
not having to push. Like
Yeah.
you're not having to strain your pelvic floor because that like that will cause pelvic
Yeah.
floor
Yeah.
weakness down the track. So if you're the type of person that's really constipated, then have your fiber, have your water. If you need to go on a course of like a Movacol or something, talk to your GP. Is this gonna...
No, I'll do it.
No, no.
Talk to your GP. Talk to someone who can help you.
Computer charger. Oh, yeah.
That was me when I spilled the... I think I kicked that
Sorry,
out.
it's okay. That
fine.
was me when I kicked it with my leg.
No, it's funny. Just you say that. So sorry. Just have a question. You know how I said I do this?
Yeah.
I do it so I don't strain. So
so you give yourself some support.
It helps me get the poo out without like pain or like a strain.
Yeah.
And then like when I'm doing it and I have to push, like I just don't poo because I'm like, it's not ready.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
just
of
wait.
course.
So it's not like I'm doing it to strain. It's like I kind of push near the like the hole, and then it kind of opens it like that, and it just
so you give yourself like the support of your pelvic floor at the front. And the other thing I see a lot is like people doing digital extraction, which is like actually having to get their finger up and like scoop out. Like if you're that constipated, it does happen, and like you feel super embarrassed about it, but you shouldn't. And that's when we start looking at like your actual poop consistency. It should be a little bit softer than that, like that sausage.
I went to the doctor when I didn't poo for 6 weeks. They had to like, she had to like stick her finger up and like feel around, and I was like, woo! It was wild.
But
and
how shit did that feel?
It was literally horrible, but she gave like, it was good because like, and she gave me medication or whatever, and it just
so usually they'd put you on a course of like a Movicol, which is like a laxative, but
it
just
was
softens,
like that, and I had to put something up my bum, I think.
you can do that when I was little.
It was wild.
I've never been so lucky to have a regular poop schedule.
I've always had poop problems, clearly.
How many women have poop problems? I would say
majority.
My sister, my elder sister, don't quote me, but I could message her right now. When we were all living at home together, so what, maybe she's 17, 18, 19. She passes out on the toilet. She has fits on the toilet, and she doesn't poo for 3 months.
3 months, wow.
Like she's
Has
just...
she seen someone?
Yep, and because we said like she's literally had a fit on the toilet. My dad is there like holding her. She didn't poo, and then we took her to the kitchen bench, and then she passed out on the kitchen bench, smashed her nose on the kitchen bench, smashed her chin, like broke her nose, slit her chin, and still hadn't gone to the toilet. Like,
so is she drunk? Like
no,
this is from the
and she
toilet.
doesn't have epilepsy because she has fits and stuff all the time, and she's been tested for that, doesn't have that, but she just can't poo. Like she cannot.
So it happens when she's on the toilet, right?
Yeah, on the toilet. Like so when she's on the toilet, sometimes we're like, are you okay? Like, are you gonna pass out?
That's really interesting.
And doctors can't figure out what it is. No one can figure it out.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of stress and anxiety. Like, I don't know your sister, I haven't like read into her case or spoken to her, but there's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes with pooping for some reason. Yeah. And it's the same with like painful sex in a way, like in that if your pelvic floor is really hypertonic and really tight and you're really stressed about it, it's going to be really hard to do. Yeah. So if you're feeling like that, I know, like I was speaking to my friend Steffi, who's a psychologist, and she'd actually be really good to have on this podcast next.
Oh, if she's keen. We've literally asked someone.
The convos that I have with her are insane. But she actually messaged me because I was having like a bit of stomach pain, and she was like, hey, I don't know if you know this, like you probably do, but a lot of like stress and anxiety can manifest as physical pain.
Principal one?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Go for gold,
you've run out.
Yeah, I'm drinking it.
Grab that bottle as well.
Oh, that's all got some in there. Fuck no.
But it's different wine.
It tastes exactly the same.
So she...
Oh, this is so sad.
It's a really nice... I love a Pinot as well. That's my wine.
We need a Grenache.
I'm a Grenache.
Oh, really? No, it's such a Pinot.
This one.
I mean, any red wine except for Shiraz. They're too intense. Shiraz, you drink it,
Yeah, it's really strong.
Yeah. They make. I just seen this brand as I was walking out. They do a Pinot Noir. I don't know the word.
Oh, that's
the one. There you go.
It's a Pinot. What we were just saying.
The other one.
Oh yeah.
CJ told me like,
red wine? Question mark.
Do you reckon you could bring us some red wine?
Okay.
Would he say yes to that?
Well, him
probably
and Philip have
not.
been on this game.
But if Monique asks, he'll go, okay.
I'm wearing docs, I promise.
See, I messaged Davey. I messaged him the other day. I was like, hey, can you get me a glass of wine? Like, he was at the pub. He was like, oh, no, I'll just get it when you get here. I'm like, you're not even going to walk 5 minutes.
5 minutes just to go to the bar? Stop. All right. What were we talking about?
I feel like
there
was another... Yeah, so pooping.
I feel like you spoke about that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it with pooping.
That's freaking crazy.
What about, if we get onto, like, myths of... women's health or painful sex or anything that we've spoken about.
So I guess like the most common ones I would get as a physio would be that sex is supposed to be painful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like a lot of women,
Like they
even
think that it's supposed to be painful.
No, yeah. So like, like it's always painful to begin with, and then it warms up. Or like, it's meant to be painful sometimes, but no, but like
it's more like if I've ever had painful sex, it's always kind of been the same for me. It's not to do with like it going in. It's like when it's in and it's pushed and it feels like it's pushing. Like I can actually feel it in like my uterus, like it's like right here,
that's me too.
And it's like a pain, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that?
But I don't think that. I'm pretty sure that just means they just went way too fucking hard.
Yeah, it's
because you
interesting.
don't feel it all the time.
Because it's always in those weird not weird positions.
I did learn
but like
here
doggy.
something that your cervix moves.
In
Is that
regards?
It depends on your cycle, like where you are in your cycle. Is that true?
Moves up and down.
Yeah, is that true?
Like your pelvic floor will move, but your organs, like your organs are where they are.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and I was like, is it true?
And then depending on where you are in your cycle, it's not necessarily going to move. Like it's not like it's going to be more shallow and therefore like sex is going to be more painful.
Do you know anything about periods?
I know a bit about periods.
What happens if someone is really extremely heavy on their period? Like, what does that mean? Does it mean anything or not really?
Periods are another one that is a bit of a myth in that do you want to stop having hay fever?
It's the fucking cat.
That's why I asked if you're allergic, because this one is. And Sherry is, and Amy is. Oh, she is.
She's so dramatic.
So dramatic, man. Get over it.
Like, you can... Periods wise are so individual. Sorry.
And they change so often.
Yeah, they're never like
mine was so light and now it's like heavy again.
Yeah. And it's like what is it? What do you mean? Like, is it painful?
It's not painful. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like mine's just like for example, like we said it on the previous podcast, like when I get my period, like I literally, like right now, like I have to wear I can't even wear tampons because like it's so heavy that like it'll bleed within like, last like 5 minutes.
Honestly,
so I wear like
different people.
I think it's just different people
Completely
maybe.
different
Yeah, because I literally have to wear like the
periods.
overnight ones, like the big ones,
Yeah.
like during the day because that's how heavy it is.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
At least you're getting one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and like if you're not getting a period, there's things that can cause that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're like
I think mine stopped when I like wasn't eating. That was like freaking that
When you're
day.
stressed, you like even if you're
Stressed,
the tiniest bit,
like
you
not
don't
eating
get
enough.
Yeah.
They're the two main
so
ones,
true.
isn't it?
Well, that's when your body's kind of going into stress.
Yeah. So true. I don't get mine when I'm stressed either.
Yeah, and I guess if you're having any issues like that, don't just dwell on it, right? Like go see your GP, go see a women's health physio.
I swear, as soon as something happens with my vagina, I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, same.
Because even
now,
but
I feel like
I
the more-
think I'm still just like in that phase of like I'm just too scared. Like I'm too embarrassed. I think that's probably I haven't even gone for a pap smear, and I'm supposed to do that. I'm 25. I know.
You need to
It
do
is,
that.
and it's so taboo,
Maybe that's why you got
right?
your pain.
Maybe.
Go.
Yeah. I know I need to, but I feel like it's just one of those things, and I'm like, just put it off. I'm fine. Like,
But to put it into perspective,
doctor's just scared.
we see a lot of vaginas, right? Like, do you get a Brazilian wax or do you get IPL done?
I just shave.
Yeah.
But I think I've become more confident. I think it's maybe within the last year or two that I've probably just become more confident within myself and like everything about myself. Because obviously, like you see it in like the movies and stuff, I'm like, I don't look like that. Like, is that what I'm supposed to look like? Because that's not me. And I think that's a lot. My whole life of I've like just put off. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And like, no. Like I'm not having any doctor look at me kind of thing because I'm not normal. But now it's like I've just realized like everyone is so different and everyone is so normal at the same time. If that makes sense, because like no one's the same, and you can't.
And that's like, I really like this show on Netflix, Sex Education.
That's half the reason why I'm like, oh fuck yeah. I'm like,
thank fuck someone's actually just spoken about
just started
this.
rewatching season 3 of that because it's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I really like the episode where she gets out the vaginal dilators for vaginismus.
Yeah.
So like,
yes, because the tentacle lady.
Yeah. So one of the treatments that we would use as a physio is like different size dilators to get you used to. So you can get pain with a condition like that. You can get pain when you're like inserting a tampon or having sex, and it's involuntary, right? You can't control it, and it's painful. So you can kind of use those to stretch out the pelvic floor and things like that. So I was like, there are so many people who would have never seen. Before I studied this, I never would have known what that was.
Yeah.
So I just thought, yeah, it's so normal, right? Like she's just talking about it like it's nothing. And
that show has made, I reckon, a lot of young people
I think
feel
it's
so much better.
100%.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's like, it's a funny show as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not a serious fucking
because
documentary
like,
or anything like that.
and that's true. Like you grow up and like you have a very like taboo of like just, you know, high school's traumatizing for absolutely everybody. And then like I don't know, and then you just grow up and you're just like, that shit doesn't matter. Why was I so worried about that stuff when I was younger? Because it really just does not matter, and you should just be like, boys are immature as fuck. Like they will never have a brain to understand anything about a girl's body, but like we should never ever feel embarrassed about ourselves, about anything that goes on with our body.
Absolutely
anything.
not.
Yeah. Like the whole vagina, the period thing that you guys were talking about night out, and then that guy was just like, stop talking about like that kind of thing. And I was just like, excuse
That's a whole
me.
story that we can get into.
I went off. Literally, I
When we're
wasn't there,
finished.
but I still went off. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like sex education is so relatable. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the male things that happen in the show,
Yeah.
but I feel like some of the stuff that happens is kind of funny. Like, not funny, but like it seems relatable. Like the guy wanking 17 times in a day, or like, you know, doing
I mean, I
all
probably
that.
would have done that when I discovered my penis as well. Being
Yeah.
like, what is this doing? Yeah.
But like, I feel like even the stuff that happens to the girls, it's so relatable.
So
Yeah,
relatable.
but even like it shows how like embarrassed we are, but how men are the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So many men are so scared to talk about their pelvic health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing.
Honestly,
is,
I
like,
reckon a lot of them
talk
don't
about
even know what it is.
No, they wouldn't
Because
even
they
know.
don't even think about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny because like I think I spoke about this to the girls like maybe a couple of weeks ago. Girls are so intrigued, researching into more like, why are my emotions like this? Like, why am I acting like this? And they're like, oh, hormones, period. Or like, it's because of this, it's because of that. And I was like,
This
do
was
boys,
literally me last night.
I was like, do boys research why they are the way they are acting? Like, do they research why, like, you know sometimes you
I
have...
honestly reckon it's just some boys. Philip researches a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
But don't the boys also go through, you know how we have our period? Don't they also go through a
I
hormone
feel like they do.
cycle? I swear they have to,
I'm sure they do because they.
Do you know
Yeah.
anything?
Like men don't fluctuate
As much as us?
cyclically like
No.
we do every month. They go through peaks during teenhood and adulthood.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's so individual, right? Like I've got friends who are so not emotional. Like my female friends they don't fluctuate with hormones.
kidding?
But even
Well, we
things
never
like
used to.
Yeah,
we do
I
now.
swear-
Fuck
I
me.
swear I
We are
never
all
used
a
to.
roller coaster.
And now
Well,
I'm
it's
just like,
so-
bro, I
it's
know when it's
so
coming.
different, but I also don't appreciate that when something's going on in my life, it's like, well, if you got your period,
Oh, I fucking hate when
it's
they
like,
say
no,
that.
my emotions, yes, they are interlinked with my hormones, but my
I
emotions,
can also feel sad
yeah,
without having
Without
a
having
hormone
a
imbalance.
reason.
something
Yeah.
sad. If
Oh,
something
Tig, I love
is,
that.
if something
That's
makes
so
me
good.
angry, I'm going to be angry, and it's not my fucking period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just angry.
It's
Yeah.
funny you
Yeah.
say that because this week I've finished my period. And it's funny because like people at my work know when I'm on it because I'm just heightened a little bit.
Yeah,
And
fair
I've
enough.
stayed heightened this week.
People
and
at
they're
work
like,
know when I want it as well.
are you still on it? And I'm like, no, but I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but I am.
Yeah.
So deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm still heightened and angry and like,
Yeah.
don't come to me and give me certain type of work because I can't be fucked doing it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, is it still...
I love how they ask
is-
you that.
No, because
Yeah.
we're,
And they,
we're
like,
kind
tread
of close,
lightly
so it's
around that kind
fine.
of
Like,
question.
and I
I feel
don't...
like if you're in a work situation where you're comfortable enough to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, then
I mean,
fine.
I
that's
don't
like
care.
that's like my work as
Yeah.
well. Like there's 4 girls, including myself, and the rest are all men because we work in that kind of FIFO
Yeah.
environment kind of thing. And there's this one guy, Tomo, he's like 50, and he always gets his eye stuff because he's like going blind in like one eye, but he's like really cool. And then he always gets his new prescription around the same time I get my period. So I got my period at work, not yesterday, day before. And then like I was like, because I was like to Tomo, I was like, you got to take me to the change room, I need to get a tampon. And he was like, oh, period. And he was like, that's so funny, I'm getting my eye prescription. I was like, so he knows when it's that
Yeah.
time for me.
Like,
And
you
like,
link the two
yeah,
together
I
now.
haven't come across a guy that's grossed out yet that I've worked with that's about like a period and stuff. 'Cause I just say it, I'm like, I've got my period.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
if I'm a
though,
bitch, I'm a fucking
seriously?
bitch. Come at me, because like I literally I go freaking angry. Like it's like I got my fuse is very short.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't mean to be. I'm like I'm just fucking angry at anyone that comes across me and pisses me off. I'm like, you're gonna get it. Like I'm sorry, but you're gonna get
that's
it.
just what happened.
And that's what happened when we went camping on Friday. I was just in a shit mood, and I was like, and Tyson's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. Like I don't know, man. And then I was going her quiet, and then like I had to you know freaking put like do the whole like
breath work.
do the breath work, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong. Like I just don't know why I'm angry. Like, that's all you have to say to me. That's all you have to. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. And I'm like, I'm just going off, and I'm like, I'm sorry, yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to be angry, but I am angry, and I actually can't control it. Like it takes over your whole body, man.
It's very frustrating because that was me today. Hence why I said I'm bringing me wine.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I don't know why.
Thank
I'm in
God
this
that
mood.
you did. Though.
yeah, and I'm
yeah.
on my period, so I'm like, I just want something in me. I
Yeah.
need to not be sober because new.
Yeah.
It's a new trend.
All right. Well,
That's it.
I think we answered all our questions. We went through everything. Tanika, thank you
Unless
so
there's anything
much.
else.
Yeah,
Did you have
Jen,
anything you want to cover?
through because I think I want to have like a final note.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was
Bring it in.
I was literally going to say, what's your take home message?
Wait, I feel like there was something important that I missed.
But Anton said he's bringing more wine.
More wine. So yeah.
Well, Tyson just asked if him and Jack want to come here.
Oh,
So
do what you like, sis. We got more wine. I don't give a
We
Did
fuck.
I
got more wine,
actually
mate.
tell you how to put your ab separation back together?
No.
No.
So the main thing we want to avoid is like the traditional ab exercises where you're like doing crunches and like things to really increase the pressure in your abdominal cavity, because it'll make more sense when you have abdominal separation, but you'll get something called doming. So in between the two muscles where the connective tissue is, if you're doing an ab crunch, the middle bit will stick out a little bit,
my
and
God,
that's
I've
what's called
seen
doming.
that.
You might have seen
Really?
it before.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that would put more strain through the middle, which is the gap that you want to separate. So have you guys heard of like transverse abdominals?
No.
It's quite like in fashion with
I feel like if you
Pilates
just
and everything
if
like
you
that.
gave us an exercise, I would know what you're talking about.
So it's more like that sucking in exercise or vacuuming.
Yep.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
They
it's
look
the
fucking
bottom.
whack.
What do you...
Yeah.
Oh, when people go...
Bodybuilders do it.
Okay, so I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying that's the
Yeah, that's the
muscle
type
that
of
does it.
yeah.
So your transverse abdominals is the underlying abdominal muscle that sits underneath everything else.
Yeah.
So you want to really focus on when you're doing your exercises to close the gap by tensing through your ab, and you'll actually feel it tense.
Yeah.
So I guess the best place to start is something like a pelvic tilt, where you're like tilting your pelvis up and closing the gap in, and depending on what stage you're at postpartum, the exercises can progress from there. And that's why it's so important to have it directed by a physio or by someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I really like a postpartum Pilates, which we do at the clinic, which is really
Wow.
individual,
Yeah.
or something where someone can tell you what you're doing, because it's so easy to have that doming. And
I
not
definitely
understand
reckon
what's
I would
going
go postpartum Pilates.
Yeah.
Because even
absolutely.
people,
For sure.
when they're not pregnant or like in an everyday life, swear by Pilates. So I
Yeah.
can't see why it wouldn't be amazing for you when you
Like
are
do
trying
it,
to
like
fix
yeah.
stuff postpartum as
Yeah.
well.
Absolutely, and it's that's why I really like how we do it at the clinic. It targets ab separation and pelvic floor, but it also addresses life with a newborn, right? So you're always in this position.
Yeah.
So why don't we strengthen those? Why don't we increase
Yeah.
your like mid back mobility?
This
and
is
things
why
like
I actually
that.
want to do Pilates now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
apparently it's just so good for
I want to do it
strengthening
as well, but
core muscles and stuff. Yeah, it is expensive.
Yeah, see, that's really interesting because I'm a Pilates trained physio, and there's a lot of Pilates studios which are like just a 6-week course. Like I won't drop any names, and Pilates is really good for you. But if you're someone who
no, it's okay. I was gonna ask a question. So I was like,
Yeah.
the place you work at, instead of like, do you do Pilates in general, or is it just the postpartum Pilates?
So yeah, that's probably an easy way to do it. I'll explain how we do Pilates.
Yeah.
So we do different streams of Pilates. So we have a clinical Pilates, which is rehab based. So I can have anything from ACL rehabs to chronic back pain in my Pilates class. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, so it's 3 people in a class maximum, and
Yeah.
you're all doing your individual Pilates
Wow.
program. So it's all addressing
So there's
your
a
own
okay. So
problems.
there's a teacher there, and then they're like, they know what you're working on, and they know what to watch.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
absolutely. So It's exercises for you though,
Yeah,
right?
but
'Cause
they
you
like
have
know
your
what
own
they're
goal.
looking at when they watch you.
Yeah, and then
That's
we
good.
progress it per class depending on how you're going, which is how I was trained as a Pilates instructor, which I love doing because the results you get are amazing and people love it. But you're right, it is that little bit more expensive, but you can claim it on private health. There's ways to make it a little bit more affordable. And then once you're pretty much at a stage where you don't need that clinical one-on-one attention, you can move into like a more mainstream class where you're doing like, we do a 6-on-1, so 6 people in a class max. And we also do one-on-one, so there's a few antenatals or pregnant women that I see one-on-one who have like specific concerns, which is absolutely fine if you can afford it and want to do it.
See, I want to do it so bad.
Yeah, and we also do antenatal Pilates. My boss is incredible.
Hi. You did it! I'm so shocked.
We
got one.
Can you train Davey?
I love this shirt.
I didn't even bother messaging Philip.
I thought
Hey.
Hi.
How you going?
We just messaged you because we knew Philip wouldn't answer.
crazy.
I probably wouldn't have came anyway if Casey messaged me.
Yeah,
Nah.
That's literally what I said. I
Well,
was
we
like,
can't anyway. Her phone's up there, so.
Yeah. No, that's alright.
I love
figured.
you.
Thank
Love
you.
too. Do you want me to put your
Love you.
food in the fridge at home? Dinner?
Oh, do I have dinner?
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
It's like noodles and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Love you.
Bye. Thanks, Anton.
See you later.
Bye.
Go to the shops, buy you one, and then bring it here.
Yeah.
And
I
for the
messaged
right
him.
one too. Right
Yeah,
one
I said
as well.
19 crimes Pinot Noir times 2.
Oh my god. I think I would die of shock if that happened to me.
Yeah, but see, if she messaged
If
him,
I
he
had
wouldn't have.
asked.
And if I messaged Philip, he wouldn't have. But I asked Anton, so he came.
Crazy.
Boyfriend of the year.
Boyfriend of the
That
year.
is
Fucking
so
him later.
lovely. That's really, really nice.
He's probably like, fuck my life. No, I'm a level behind on my game.
Yeah.
They're
Anyway,
playing the same
sorry.
game on the same level.
Oh, yeah, they're always like Jessie as well.
Oh, God.
It's too
you
much.
think Jesse's bad for fucking
Oh,
working
that
now,
gave me
doing
life
it.
Now, not for me.
Not
Anyway.
for sis.
I just don't want to be near.
But sis.
I love how we said hour.
Yeah.
Being 20 past.
Yeah, sorry,
but
I
there
can
was-
talk about vaginas
No,
like all day.
so
So
can
can
we.
we.
But
We- at
to
that-
wrap up what
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
saying about abdominal
Right.
separation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So, we're talking about Pilates and like the streams. That was pretty much it on the streams that we do. But really important to go to like an antenatal class. There's if you don't want to go to like this clinic, you can go and search up Fit Right, which have a lot of good information. And things like that, and you can kind of do it yourself. But I think it's really important. You know, it's your body. Like invest in it. Like
Yeah.
you can make. There's no reason why you have to live with it.
Yeah. So, what would be your take-home message
Yes.
to everyone watching, or listening, watching, however everyone's watching this?
Yeah. So I feel like I've said it a lot, but every condition, every problem you have is common, but it's really individual. So it's really important to if you want help on something, seek help. You know, don't be embarrassed. We see this every day. We're very comfortable with it. We'll make you very comfortable with it.
What's your job? That's what people need to remember.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's no taboo about it. Like you'll come in and feel really awkward, but you really don't need to see your GP, see a women's health physio, just see someone, or even like if you're not quite at the stage where you're ready to go seek help, go to, if it's stress incontinence or anything pelvic floor, go to the Continence website, which you guys can link,
Continence
or
website.
Pelvic Floor First, which is a really good website. Or like anything pregnancy related, you can do Fit Right, or honestly,
There's so many things out there.
yeah.
Even just on Instagram, like me and Casey follow so many pregnancy pages.
I think in saying that though, there's a lot of
And podcasts.
misinformation out
There
there.
is,
as
for
well.
sure.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
why I think
You wanna
we
follow the
appreciated
right
having you on
pages.
here.
This
because,
is like the one we follow is a very like, it's not something I would do during my pregnancy, but it's a very holistic type of
Yeah.
pregnancy, like they're really into their water births and everything's all natural, and they're showing like
Shows a
women,
different type of way to give birth.
and it's showing women
Yeah,
like
of
breastfeed. It's
course.
very raw, but it's not
Instead of
something.
just the hospitalized version.
It's not something I would
Yeah.
do, but it's something that like they expose everything, like the bleeding, like there's literally pictures of people's placentas and like
Yeah.
everything, which is
And-
good.
And I've honestly learnt more from that podcast that we did about the whole clitoris and all that kind of stuff, and then having Teneka on as well. I've learnt more here than what I have in my
In
whole
school,
entire
yeah.
life in
Yeah.
school and everything
Because
like
it's
that.
all taboo.
Which
back in
we've
the
also
day.
talked about
And
school.
I went to an all girls school where all they talked about was not having sex.
See, that
We spoke about this.
We
'cause
have spoken about
we have
this.
spoken about
her
this.
cousin said that in a Catholic school they don't talk about
Condoms.
contraceptions
because
and stuff like
they
that.
don't talk about anything.
And it's
Yeah.
just wild how like taboo everything is, and like how you
Yeah, and
can
it
learn
makes-
so much more
It's
now.
a really nice way to make people feel really ashamed
yeah.
of what they're doing.
See, it's so bad. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
That's why I'm so
Because-
thankful though for like social media. That's actually a positive of social
Yeah.
media, podcasts, all that sort of stuff. If you listen to the right things and look at the right
Yeah.
things.
Because like religion,
But when you're in that spot,
yeah.
when you're reading stuff, you don't know what the right thing is, right?
No, but
Like I remember being a private school where I went.
Yeah,
They
we'll cut that
taught
it's fine. We just,
not
yeah.
not having sex, and
Really?
well, yeah, abstinence was what
Yeah,
they
abstinence.
what they
Yeah, like
talked
no
about.
sex
Don't
before
get
marriage.
pregnant.
Yeah.
And,
If you practice
you know, I
abstinence,
know
you
this
won't get
stuff now, but I can guarantee you my first time was extremely painful. I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about
yeah.
contraception.
But do you not reckon that we didn't even have access to stuff like we do now?
Oh, absolutely not. And I
yeah.
think like
That's why we didn't have
And
any
that's
chance.
one of the
We had no
reasons why,
chance.
like-
we're fucked.
when I was talking about coming here and talking about it, I was like, oh, that's a big step for me, like going out and talking about it publicly. But I feel like it can really help people in
Yeah,
that position that I was
Definitely,
in.
for sure.
You know, 7
that
We have a
years
lot
ago.
of young girls as well listening.
We do,
Yeah,
and
we
I
do.
feel like that's why we kind of not started it, but like the things us three talked about, we were like, not a lot of people know this. Like, I'll go to work and try to start a conversation, and they're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I was like, you have a vagina, and I'm really really close with this person at my work where
Yeah.
I feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking about what's happening with me, and she's like, oh no, and I'm like,
What?
what do you mean? I was like, this isn't a taboo topic. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just asking a fellow vagina
Yeah.
owner.
I feel like
What's your thought on this?
One of the
Yeah,
big things I
on your
always, yeah.
anatomy that we all have,
Literally.
that 50%
It's
of
just-
people on this planet have. You
And
know?
it just blows my
baffles me.
mind. Like, and I think
It
we're talking
baffles
about
me.
this today. For example, just to like not try to make this a longer podcast, the Megan Fox Instagram post that she had just done, where she listed like she made this really raw caption, and at the end,
And I thought it was such a good caption.
and at the end she was like, "We have the kind of sex that makes Lucifer grab his rosary." And then people at my work were talking about it, and they were getting like, oh, like really blah blah blah. And
It's
I,
just an explanation.
and I watched this TikTok, and they were like, this girl was saying that it's like really out of this world, that it was crazy, and I was like, yeah, but it's not. Like, she's literally just saying that her sex,
Her
is,
sex is
great.
great.
Sex is
And I was
great.
like, good
It's
for
just
her.
another-
Like,
it's
she's
just
not
another-
having painful
yeah.
sex. I don't
And
know.
that's what I feel like the thing that like I boast about most to anyone that asks about my friendship group, because like it's literally us 5 girls that are like the closest thing to me, and it's like we aren't like normal people, like, because like I would say one thing and everyone's like shocked that it's coming from a girl, and I'm like, I don't care, man. Like, I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything. Me and my friends are the exact same. We don't hide anything. We
No.
tell each other everything.
Yeah, because we
baffles me
don't
that
have the
there's-
knowledge that you
Yeah,
have,
so it's like you
we're
need to
trying
talk.
seek
We're trying
it.
to seek it, and we seek it within us, like with each other.
It's such a shame, right? Like, I
It
wish
is.
the stuff I learned in university they taught in fucking school.
They,
I know.
The whole curriculum needs to be
Legit.
redone.
Especially like Catholic schools and stuff. It's like I get religion and all
Yeah,
that kind
I
of
can
stuff, but
understand
life, like sex, for example, like sex is supposed to be a pleasure and like a connection. It's not to be a taboo thing
But that's
where
not
it's
how
like,
they
no,
teach
don't
it,
do this.
yeah.
But that's not how they teach it. They shame it, and it's like that's not what it is. It's creating.
even-
It can be creating life, or it can be connecting with a soul at the same time, or it can be just pleasure, like whatever you want it to be. But it shouldn't be this taboo
Yeah.
thing that's like off the table. But like, don't
And
talk
I
about
think
that.
that's
You're
when
not allowed
things
to.
go wrong,
So
right?
bad.
Like
Yeah.
when you don't, when you think it's taboo, and you're like, oh, maybe it's meant to be painful. Maybe this is normal.
Yeah.
Everyone else is having painful sex. Maybe this is normal.
I
Got
feel
ham on
sorry
that
for young
one,
girls.
sis.
Same.
I remember
I do.
being like 16 though, and everyone was having painful sex.
Yeah, because boys don't know how to fucking get you ready for it. That's why.
Yeah,
it's
they just go in
painful.
full drive. Like, here you go.
We don't
And
have the
also, you're
confidence at that
nervous.
stage
Yeah, you're
to-
nervous, obviously, as well.
Yeah, so I guess like then advice for like that type of era would be, you know, you need to be relaxed in that situation.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable
Say
enough
no.
to have that conversation
Say
with your
no
partner,
or don't do it.
yeah, if you're not comfortable enough to be like, hey, this isn't the right setting, I'm not ready, anything like that, maybe you have a bigger problem going on.
Exactly.
And then if you can't talk about it with that person, then that's another issue
red flag.
within itself.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh.
you should be like totally comfortable.
There's so many factors when you're that age.
Yeah, especially that age. Like now when you get older, you realise that guys, I mean, some do if they're still freaking like 25 with the brain of a 13-year-old. But like you realise that guys generally don't care either. Like they just want
Well, they don't know. They
exactly
because you learn like so.
But do we tell them?
Well,
No.
good
No,
thing,
a lot of
actually,
people don't.
yeah,
They don't get told.
They don't get told. They
They
don't.
meant
Yeah.
to read your mind.
Well,
Yeah.
even so in school, they get taught the basics of the basics, and then when you get into a relationship and maybe you started off by not telling the guy what you wanted, and now you're still doing the same thing that you've been doing for years,
And yeah,
and you're
yeah.
faking it, then
Like, oh my god, this feels so good.
yeah, then they don't know. But like you need to be
Yeah.
open.
And it's
Yeah.
even like about periods and stuff. Like they don't get taught that. Like they do not know.
And
No,
also,
they do not.
like your
There's some
sexuality
kind
and
of-
what you
yeah.
like changes with your age. It's
Yeah.
not always going to be the same shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god, we
This
could go
we
on.
can
See,
literally-
this is what happens, man. We talk about one thing and then we go off to 20
I
other different
know.
things, and then we have to
Well,
bring ourselves back.
Yeah, but that was my take home message.
Great. Take home message.
It was honestly.
Tanika, we want to say thank you so
Yes.
much for coming
First
on.
guest.
We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's
And-
something that we're really into. So
Yeah, no, and I love chatting about it, and I love getting factual information out, and
Yeah.
I think people should all feel welcome. Whoever's listening,
yeah.
you can find me on Instagram and you can message me. I do not judge anything.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
happy for your work? Do they want us? Can we mention
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So I like had a chat to my boss at work, and
Oh my god, no way.
yeah, no, she was amazing, and I was like, "Is there anything in particular like you think I should say or do anything?" She was like,
Yeah.
"No, like you say
So we
what
can
need
link
to say."
you.
Like
and
if we just
just-
at you
Yeah,
on
'cause
Instagram,
I was gonna say we
maybe?
can link Tanika,
Oh,
and then we can
yeah,
link
no,
her.
that's good. And
yeah.
I think the best thing, if you don't want to see me, go see my boss. She won't know you. I
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
know you.
Yeah.
Do you know, and the type of thing. But just I have 100% confidence that if I don't know how to help you, I will find the way to help
Yeah,
you,
great.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if
That's
you're in a
amazing.
different state, seek out a
Local,
women's health.
Yeah, women's health.
And
yeah.
we'll link the websites that Tanika had spoken about
Yeah,
tonight.
because
So.
that sounds super helpful and just
Yeah,
so
just
interesting.
like even if you just want to know, like book a women's health assessment, find out about
Yeah.
your own body,
Yeah.
ask the questions that you want to ask.
Yeah.
You know,
And if
no
you have
questions
health
too silly.
insurance, you should
Yeah.
be covered for it if you've got physio.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you have extras, you'll be covered by physio.
Or if you go to a GP.
Oh, and the other thing people don't know about, if you go to a GP, you can get what's called a care plan. I don't even know if I'm legally allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Speak to your GP about it. I can't recommend that you do it or don't do it, but there's something called a care plan where you can get 5 sessions per calendar year.
Oh no, yeah, I know about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of people actually don't know about it, but you can get 5 physio session or any allied health profession per year if it's a chronic condition. So something like stress incontinence tends to be a chronic condition.
Yeah.
But if like even if finances is the reason, if you're a student and you can't afford it, let me know and I'll help you. Like,
Yeah.
that's how much.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
feel
people
the need to
nowadays
help.
as well do payment plans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
places
A lot of
would
places
do,
do
yeah,
it
for
now,
sure.
so.
Yeah,
That
honestly, if
Just
any
do your research.
issues, just
Yeah.
hit me up. I'm
Love
happy
it.
to help.
Love
Great.
it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Everyone,
much.
please leave a like, follow,
We wanna have more
rating and
guests.
review, and I will leave everything Tanika has said in the description. And hopefully, you guys give her a follow and see, and go even hit up her work
Yeah.
for your own consult.
Yeah, if you're in Perth.
Yeah, if you're in
If
WA.
you're in
Yeah.
WA.
So yeah, thank you so much, and we will see you next week.